In this video, we are diving deep into the battle of giants. S24 Ultra versus the all-new S25 Ultra. Which one captures the sharper detail, dominates in low light, and delivers the jaw-dropping bokeh? Is the S25 Ultra a game changer, or does the S24 Ultra still hold its ground? Buckle up, because the results are pretty surprising. I will be separating this video into two main sections. In the first section, I'll be talking about the day photography, and on the second section, I'll be talking about the night and low light performance of these cameras. All the photos are taken in auto mode, scene optimizer was at maximum, and scene optimization was turned on. Since these are the default settings, most of the users will shoot photos in these settings. And that's what I want to test. So let's start with the comparison. In this shot, I used the main lens, so I expected the exactly same results. However, if you look closely, S24's image is a bit more saturated than the S25's. I guess Samsung dialed down the image saturation just a bit. What about if we start to zoom in? At 3x, there is no difference, except again S24 Ultra produces a bit more saturated image. I will skip the 5x and the 10x and will directly go to the 30x zoom. Now we start to see a difference. Even though they are using the same exact lenses, processing on the S25 Ultra is overall better. Edge artifacts are almost non-existent and we have a much clearer image. This is another example of the extreme zoom. Again, on 1x, there is no discernible quality difference, just a saturation one. But when we zoom all the way to the 30x, we see a similar result to the previous example. S25 Ultra produces a better image when zoomed in. Especially when you look at the crane in the background, the quality difference is more clear. I don't know what they've done to the processing, but it is definitely working. For this one, I took an image of a fake flower at 1x. Again, S24 Ultra produces a more saturated image, but S25's image is closer to the real world. In real life, it was a worn out yellow rather than a vibrant one. However, the more important part for me is the details. I'm happy to report that both of them retain the details, and when we zoom in, you can see the individual views. So in my book, both were successful with this shot. In this shot, I wanted to challenge the image processing of these photos. Directly behind the sign is the sun, and it is a nice demonstration of their HDR capabilities. Both of them took identical photos, except, yet again, the saturation difference. Signs were visible and the sunny parts of the image are not blown out. This image is a nice demonstration between their saturation difference. First, at 1x, S24 produces a relatively more saturated photo, and at 5x, the story is the same. I have to make it clear that even though the punchy colors of the S24 Ultra looks nice, S25 Ultra was closer to the real life. It all comes to the personal preference, but I prefer more realistic photos. This is also an interesting photo for me. S24 Ultra totally overexposed the cake, and if we zoom into the chocolate balls, they are blurry mess. However, the exposure on the S25 Ultra is just right and chocolates look like chocolates as they should. This is a clear win for S25 Ultra. What about the selfie cameras? Well, they are identical, so what can I say? Or are they? Surprisingly, even though they both have the same sensor, my skin color is more accurate on S25 Ultra. This is another example with the same results. Overall, I like the selfies on the S25 Ultra more. When it comes to the portrait mode, I didn't see any difference between their edge detection, but again, S25 Ultra produces more accurate colors and I actually look like living human being, unlike the S24 Ultra's image. Now, let's switch from day to night and see if there's any difference between their low light performance. To be honest, results were interesting to say the least. Again, I want to start with the graffiti wall. When shooting with the ultra-wide sensor, we see our first drastic difference between these two phones. The colors of the S24 Ultra is totally wrong and it lacks the details. It is especially clear if we zoom into the tree on the left side. What about the 1x? Well, this time, colors of the S24 Ultra on the wall is more accurate than the S25 Ultra. However, if you look at the sky, S24 Ultra's image is a mess and filled with artifacts. I will still go with the S24 Ultra since the main object that I was trying to take a picture was the wall. Also, sky was not pitch black as depicted on the S25's image. In this example, I wanted to test the low light performance of the zoom lenses. At 1x, we see a small difference between the colors. S25 Ultra has a yellow undertone, which is closer to real life. These street lamps were not cold white. When we zoom to 3x, it is a similar story, but one thing that caught my eye is that the crosswalk sign at the back. On the S25, it is completely blown out, but S24 manages to retain some detail. Therefore, for this, I had to give it to the S24 Ultra. At 5x, again, the S25 produces more accurate colors, but it has lost all the texture of the sign. For this, I have no preference. Depending on how you look at it, they're both good and bad at the same time. There is definitely something strange going on in Samsung's software processing department. Finally, I want to show you some video samples between these two devices. This is a video test between the S24 Ultra and the all-new S25 Ultra. You're also hearing the mic difference if there is any, and the video is recorded at 4K and 60 FPS. Again, S25 Ultra produces more muted but true-to-life colors. It all depends on your preference, but there's a huge difference when you're shooting ultra steady mode. And this is a test for the ultra steady shot. Since it uses the ultra-wide angle to crop the video, S25 produces significantly better video in this mode. So this is a video test between the S24 Ultra and the S25 Ultra. This time I'm using the front-facing camera, and also you're again listening the difference between the mics. The recording is at 4K and 60 FPS. This time S25 Ultra completely misses my actual skin tone, and S24 Ultra produces more accurate colors. I'm just speechless at this point. What's going on with the processing software, Samsung? Overall, even though Samsung didn't change the sensors, they definitely tweaked their software to create more accurate colors. But it is not consistent. In some cases, S24 Ultra produced a better picture. Since S25 Ultra has a new ultra-wide sensor and most of the time it manages better than the S24 Ultra, I will give the win to S25 Ultra. However, in my book, this is not much of a win, but just technicality. My question is, if Samsung updated their software to take better pictures with the exact same sensors, why the S24 Ultra or even the S23 Ultra can't get the same treatment? Maybe it is related with the new processor, or maybe there is something nefarious going on with the Samsung, who knows? Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to subscribe and share, and like always, take care.